Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode, we saw a couple major events happen, such as well, not just some, but a lot of expansion all across the world. We saw a couple new countries form. Um, we saw one of the big things. We saw this brown team over here form, which we'll talk about why that's big in a bit. But the biggest event we saw was a major war starting up over here. We see the green team invading the purple and blue team, and the blue team invading the purple team, although they're all fighting each other. Alright, so let's get started with this episode. In this episode, we'll start off down here. As we see all of these countries work together, and they discover over, all of this territory. In fact, they actually, over time, will discover all of it. They will start expanding into it, but well, we see some of these countries actually will start to expand into it, such as the Cyan team, which is, I think it's actually the newest country even. We see one of the weakest countries, the pink team over here. They move in to discover some of this, or take over some of this. But then we see actually the yellow team bring up an idea. Why don't you guys just split this territory in a treaty? So that's exactly what we're going to see happen. And so here's what we see this treaty end up looking like. Start off with the line team, who gets all of this. The cyan, light blue team, they get a decent amount of land there. You see the blue team probably actually benefiting the most from this. We're going to talk about that in a bit. Actually, not really though. I thought they got more fertile lands than they actually did. You see the pink team, they get that. And then the orange team gets that. Alright, so there you go. It's like a first sub area kind of like fully filled in. This I guess this is really a sub area. Alright, now we're going to talk about the brown team, which is why we had the religion here. Or actually, well, we're going to talk about a couple different areas. So firstly, like these 7 starting countries really, and also these 2 down here, and even this purple country over there. But all of these countries really have their own religion. Although in some areas, like right in here, you see religion kind of spreading into other nations. It also does follow provinces. But what's really important about here is like we have a brand new religion over here that's actually a sub religion of this orange religion here. We also see this one here is actually a subversion of the yellow religion, as it kind of started off in this in the yellow team's colony right here. But the actual biggest thing is right in here, where we see this small religion actually being like the biggest part of it, and over in this area is like the main religion for everybody. The only province that doesn't have it, or like up here is like the only spot where it isn't like the main religion. Um, but anyway, like we see this being a major spot for this religion. I don't really know what I'm saying here. I'm just kind of repeating myself in it. But basically what I'm trying to lead up to is they want this to be that like everybody's religion, but the orange team wants their religion. And so with that, we see a bright no, we see this kind of do red, but we see this darker red color country. We see this dark red. I don't know how dark red this is, but we see a dark red country forming here. And well, before anyone can really stop them, they move over and take over this island, and they're like, "Hey, you know what? Let us be independent, and we're chill." And so, seeing as there's not as this actually wasn't too cared for anyway, the orange team will just agree with that. They got a bunch of better lands down here anyway. Actually, they didn't. So, but we see the capital of this new dark red country will be on this a major city, or on that, yeah, that major city there on that island. All right, let's talk about this purple team real quick. Which we have to head down here for. All right, so with these guys, basically that purple country is everybody, like not everybody, but a lot of people trying to escape this up here, especially from the blue, red, purple, green, and teal teams up here, as we see the major war going on here, and we see the red and teal team kind of fearing people might like it might happen and we might get involved. So we see a lot of people coming down here. They're just trying to escape this. And we saw this country kind of being formed like a camp setup thingy. Um, but like this is the third most populated country in the world. I'm gonna put that. The red team is first, and then the green team, and then it's these guys. This tiny nation is the third most populated country. And it's really just a ton of people who are kind of just trying to find a good spot to set up their lives that's far away from chaos. And we see them just keep going out this way. Eventually, I have furfurs off. Like up here, they kind of go away from the coast. They discover this river, but it's not the river. Eventually, they meet up back with the coast and begin following it again. They find more rivers here, and we see another like kind of camp being set up here. Actually, coming back here, we also see a major camp being set up here, and this one's actually more just like an actual country being formed on the way. As we see people, see a decent group of people actually do like this area. So for right here, we see this. We see a lot of bluer countries forming on the on like this pathway. And at this point, like it's it's taken these people a while to move out here. Like some people that were like just that are like a year old as they start this journey. At this point, they're at the least people that were like 1 year old, or it's taken them about just maybe 30 years to get to this point, and another like 5 more ish years to get up to here. So this is like easier to travel through. Actually, over here now, we see them actually start getting into the jungle area. Actually, even over here. But this is brand new to these people. They've never encountered a rainforest at all. But we see the capital of this country being formed right here. This one over here. And as for this country, we see it being a really dark blue. Actually, I can't. It actually, it, the, we do see a lot of people still. Nope, this still isn't the spot. So we see more people going. At this point, some of the we see a lot of people that were in their like 20s. They're not even gonna make it to their end destination. Once they get through here, it really slows their pace down until they start getting boats, which helps them travel a lot faster. And we see them still heading all the way out until eventually they will make it as they keep going and going and going. Event some people at this point they're like, yeah, we can't keep doing this. But eventually they're like the main like person leading them says like we're almost there. And eventually they discover this river here and say, I told you, this is the spot. So we see them finally settling down far, far out right here. Now, they are in fertile lands still. So they're actually doing pretty good out here. But it's taken even more years. At this point, by the time they actually get out here, news is finally reaching about this settlement here. Actually, we're gonna switch things up now. We're gonna do a goldish color instead of blue. But, um, by the time we see then, like, by the time this here has actually happened, by the time this here has actually happened, we see like events from next episode are happening now. Alright. But now we're gonna come back up to here, and this will be our last event of the episode. It's main it's mainly just focusing on this now. As this is a pretty big event going on. Alright, for the green team, they are the strongest country in this war at this time. And so we see that continue. They are the first or second country actually to capture a major city. They moved down here and split the blue team in half, also capturing another major city and taking over right here. We see the purple team actually being the first country to make a naval landing, probably, and most definitely because they have the best navy in the world, or second best. Red team's is the best. Speaking of the red team, they will join this war, but not just join this war, just fight. No, we see. I'm gonna come up here as we see the alliance layer being formed here. and the first official alliance ever in this world will form between the red team and the purple team. So we see the red team and purple team working together in this war. And as the blue team didn't actually expect the red team to join, although they kind of knew they would, we see the blue team quickly losing their capital. The purple team is kind of just told by by the red team, like, hey, just focus on the green team at this point. We got the blue team covered. Although we do see the purple team does still kind of take some more lands here. But now we see the really big event happening. As we see the blue team king, right before he thinks he's about to get captured, he will quickly set off on a boat and sail down into the yellow team. And it's not just any boat, no, he's taking his whole naval fleet, and this is happening over a couple years, probably. But he's telling everyone in the blue team, get in these boats. And they set out, and we see the blue team and all the people from the blue team. They'll come, and they kind of just claim this country, or not actually that one, not that. They'll all come out all the way here and claim this blue country as their own. And we're gonna make this a really light blue now. So, yeah. We see the blue team kind of just getting ditched up here. So we see the red team moving in, taking over what lands they want. And then we see the purple team and the green team kind of come down to an agreement. But before they actually agree on it, we see the green team will, an uh-oh happens. We see a revolution appearing in the mountainous parts of the green team. I'm just going to use this dark green color. But we see a revelation appearing in the middle of the green team, and basically this revelation is just the miners of this country, of this part in the mountains. They're tired of being like mistreated and stuff, so they just revolt against the green team. Yeah, how'd that work out for you, green team? And to add insult to injury, yeah, we're adding some salt into this wound. Yeah, we'll do. This part of the country also will rebel. I'm going to find colors for these, don't worry. And I'm also going to I'm just going to find some better colors for these countries. Down there. You will probably oftentimes notice countries like slightly changing color or completely changing color even. Yeah. I'm just going to try and figure out what colors are actually fitting. Alright. But we see the green team, they kind of just say, like, okay, we'll just put our military here. We give over to the rebellions up here, both of them. We give up our lands in the purple team, even. So we see the red team giving up this. But the purple team's like, no, 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 not anymore. And, they move into these areas now. they just want to take over some of this land here. And we see the oddest of events to yet happen. The teal team here will also invade into the green team. These guys were kind of thought of as like pacifists, like saying no to war, but no. They they kind of are lacking one thing other than in this region here. That's like really farmable lands they can like completely exploit, really. And that's not enough over here. So we see them wanting some lands here. And the green team's got plenty of that. So yep. And now we will take a look at the peace treaty for this war. Alright, so here we have our peace treaty. We'll start down here. We see the blue team. They don't exist anymore. We're gonna start off with capitals. Alright. So we see the green team moving their capital a bit further inland. This was like their best city that they had, but they kind of had to get rid of it as their capital because they fear it's too close to another country's border, and seeing as the teal team also could invade them, they don't want that. Alright, so for this red team, which I totally didn't use Caucasia's color for, their capital's there, and the purple team, their capital's there. Alright, we'll start down here, though. The red team. They probably actually get the most land out of this war, despite being one of the later joiners. But we see them getting quite a lot down here, especially. So you see them getting all of this. The purple team, they get quite a bit too. They get a lot of this coastal land. We do see them giving some coastline over to the green team. However, they are given this here. And then we see them taking over all of this. Yes, that pixel too. Alright. As for the teal team, they just get that. They didn't get a whole lot, but they got what they needed. And the green team's left with this land here. They also get this land out of down here. Alright. See the green team getting that back. And this dark red Caucasus country. This is kind of the equivalent of Caucasia. So I guess that is fitting. They get this. We're gonna talk about that in a second. And this purple country, this is kind of like the equivalent of Crimea, I guess. They get that. Those borders do not look good. That's that's so weird. I don't like that. I don't think I like that too much. I'm gonna change that up a little bit. Alright. And we see a deal being made between Caucasia and this team. I knew I was gonna call him Caucasia. I knew I was gonna call him Caucasia at some point. I knew it was gonna happen. Alright. So yeah. We did see color switches. I did make that the color of the Dutch team. I couldn't help myself. And then we made this country a lime green color. Even though there's a lime green country right here. So we're going to actually darken this color country. But we are going to talk about them real quick. As we see them becoming that near, we see them becoming kind of an empire. We really didn't talk much about this area other than the treaty and the revolution up here. So we see the lime team here, or this green team, discovered all of this. Wait, hold up. Okay, those are actually pretty different. Those look similar from a further distance. Right, but we see them moving into this territory. In fact, they claim over all this. But once they get up in here, this area here kind of becomes a bit more disputed. But the main thing up here is you have mountains right here. So, we're gonna see how that works out. Anyway, now for this other lime green team, we see them actually going out, discovering this, and claiming over a decent portion of it. Alright. Oh yeah, I know I said that war was actually was going to be the last event. It was clearly not. Alright, we see this brown team too here. Um, these are like this is like probably the worst country to be in. They don't really have much stuff to set themselves up. Or actually, they do have a lot to set themselves up with. They already kind of spent it all, so they're trying to figure out what to do. They were kind of told about the geography over here, but nobody knew about the geography over here. But we see them mainly being explorers over time, discovering all of this and claiming over all of this. And unlike other nations, they don't have to worry about other people at all. Like nobody knows where they're at. Nobody knows they even exist. Um, so we see them kind of being able to also develop into an empire almost. They just like aren't good at being an empire. All right, now we're going to do the actual last thing that is going to happen, and that's the power rankings. Let's get rid of all of these because we've got some definite turnarounds, obviously. Actually, we're going to do one last thing before power rankings. We're going to come over to the blue team. As once everybody finally gets over here, we see the blue team will quickly move themselves outwards. And they take over all of this. Right. But actually, that's not even going to affect them much. Or the power rankings, at least. We're going to do the 30 here. Alright, so number 1 is still the red team. Number 2 is actually the lime team now. We see number 3 being given over to the purple team. Number 4 is the green team. 5 is the orange team. 6 is the yellow team. 7, I have to give over to the teal team. Actually, no. Teal team is 6. Yellow team is 7. We can erase it there. Alright. 8, actually, 8 is these guys down here. I'll have to give 9 over to the dark, or to the brown team. And 10, we actually see being this gold team out all the way out here. And the reason why is, well, they they have a lot of people over here. Also, a lot of them being explorers, and like similar to the blue team, they actually have more people than the blue team did. And we see them actually kind of reaching out to looking like this. Of course, like by the time they're actually doing this, it's very few, but some of the events from next episode are happening. But next episode and this episode kind of happened just alongside each other, because most of this episode was the war and just some expansion. So yeah. Alright. So there you have it. Alright. And also, you know what? Close our graphics real quick. I think we have enough to do top 20s. I always do top 20. And actually, top 25 sometimes. Top 15. So 11 is the dark red team up there. 12, I have to give over to the purple team. I'm doing this on the wrong layer. So 11, 12, 13 all right next to each other. Would you look at that? 14 is actually 14. We come over to the blue team. 15 here. 16, we gotta give to the pink team. And actually, we don't have enough for top 20. Yeah, we do. Actually, 16 is this country up here. So 17. Oh yeah, we don't. 18. 19. And just because I want to have top 20, we see another camp kind of being set up by people that were kicked out from the blue team right over here. And we see, not Amazonia, but we see, I'm still random color. We see, no, I'm not doing another blue. We're still in the color from Caspia. I do often reuse colors a lot. No, I'm not gonna do that either though. But you know what? We'll steal the color from Indonesia or Sumatra. There you go. And that's our 20th color. Their capital down. Actually, I was going to form a country here in next episode, so we're just gonna do it early. And there you go. There's 20. Okay. Alright, so there you go. There's the world now. We have 20 countries exactly. And if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.